Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And then breaking news coming from the intersection of 7 Mile and Hoover, where a Detroit police cruiser collides with an SUV. 2 officers were hurt in the crash and rushed to the hospital.
Jason Colthorpe live on the scene tonight, and I believe you just got an update from police, Jason.
We have gotten several updates, Devin. We also have a very active scene behind me. Take a look. You can see first that Detroit police squad car still waiting to be towed out. The other vehicle, the SUV that rammed into it, is being towed at the moment. Take a close look at that Detroit squad car. You can see the airbags were deployed. Originally, it was on its side. You're going to see more video of that in a moment. Police are out here reconstructing this, and you can see the flashing green light in the background. There's a camera there they're looking at. There's another camera at this intersection of 7 Mile and Hoover that they're looking at. And let me explain exactly what happened here. Hoover runs north and south. 3 Detroit squad cars were coming through on an emergency run. That means lights and sirens were going. They were trying to come south, and as they got to the intersection, that SUV was trying to make the light going the other way on 7 Mile. They collided, sent the vehicle onto its side. Now, you're about to hear from witnesses who were all involved. The first one, a young lady in a burgundy Impala who was at the light here, who saw it all happen and then was crashed into. The second one is the driver of that SUV, and then police. Here's how it happened in their words.
Saw the 3 cop cars coming towards this way on Hoover. By the time they got to right there at the light, their light had turned green. The one truck that came flying by was at a red light.
I'm going east down 7 Mile, and then the cop just comes flying down Hoover. And like I said, I didn't have enough time to stop, so I hit him, and my car's totaled now.
He came through, and then he hit the cop car. The cop car flipped. Well, hit our car, then flipped.
They in turn struck this other vehicle, this burgundy vehicle, and a fire hydrant, which flipped them over.
It was a hard impact. It made my car jerk and then skirt over a little bit.
We asked people to slow down, watch the lights, and be careful out there. There seems to be several serious accidents tonight.
Yeah, you're going to hear more about those serious accidents in a moment. First, let's talk injuries. That young lady you heard from, she hurt her ankle. She's going to be all right. The officers are both stable. They're going to be all right. And preliminarily out here, they believe it was the SUV that ran the red light. And I can tell you, police are not releasing video yet, but I have seen video that came from one of the squad cars that was behind the one that was hit. And you can clearly see the light turns green the moment they go into the intersection, which means if you know lights here in Michigan, and we've watched this one, when one turns red, it waits, there's a delay, and then the other one turns green. It means that SUV did run the red light. But a lot more to sort out. This intersection should be open in a little while now. We're live tonight. Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
A lot to sort out indeed. All right, Jason.
Our other top story tonight, a big drop in temperatures coming this weekend.
Let's bring Ben along here at 11. Ben, the storms have moved out, but now here comes cold right behind it.
Yeah, and it was fun while it lasted. The temperatures, warm temperatures were, not necessarily the storms, but this time of year, that transition gets rough, and that's what we had this afternoon. Look at the numbers that we're sitting at right now, down into the 40s already. Detroit at 49. This is coming off of that high in some places that touched 80 degrees today, so we've already made quite a drop, but we've got even further to go. You can see those 30s hanging out in northern lower Michigan and the UP, and yes, they are headed here tonight. 4-zone forecast, these are low temperatures. This is what we're going to wake up to tomorrow morning. 39 in the city, 40 right at that mark in downriver, maybe one of the warm spots. Also out in Luna Pier in the Erie shoreline could be touching 40. Everybody else in the south zone, upper 30s. West zone, a lot of mid-30s out there. 37, one of the cool spots in Howell and Brighton. And north zone, you're going to wake up in the morning to the mid and upper 30s as well. Afternoon highs only touching 50 in the afternoon. The good thing is we're going to get a decent amount of sunshine. Coming up, we'll look at the second half of the weekend and also big college football weekend. We'll look at Michigan State forecast. One of those weather is going to play a role. We'll talk about that in a minute, guys.
Get back to you soon here, Ben. All right, as we head into the weekend, the state is now reporting 1,826 new cases of COVID-19.
Sadly, 18 more people have died in Michigan from the virus. Other headlines, the Michigan High School Athletic Association announcing winter sports will start on time next month, with face coverings required for basketball, cheer, ice hockey, and wrestling. And tonight, drug makers AstraZeneca as well as Johnson & Johnson will resume their paused COVID vaccine trials. Both companies paused their trials in recent weeks due to unexplained illnesses in volunteers.
A DDOT bus driver hospitalized tonight after a violent crash on Detroit's east side that involved a number of vehicles.
That bus crashed into a local car dealership, knocking down power lines. It happened at the intersection of DeQuinder and East Outer Drive. Larry Spruill is live at the scene. And Larry, police blocked off that area for hours.
Devin and Kimberly, it was a mess out here for hours tonight. As a matter of fact, they just opened up the intersection about 2 minutes before our 11 o'clock newscast. There were glass on the ground, power lines on the ground. That DDOT bus hit this car dealership right across the street. Let's break the details.
I had one of my employees call me. He said, "Well, the big bus ran into your shop."
Fareed Hermes of King Auto Sales recalls the phone call he got Friday night that forced him to drop everything immediately.
They hit the fence and went all the way to your shop, so I just came directly to see what's going on over here.
Police said a 23-year-old driver of this purple Magnum caused this multi-car accident involving a Detroit Department of Transportation bus at the intersection of DeQuinder and East Outer Drive. That bus crashed into King Auto Sales. Now our cameras were rolling as emergency crews transported the 28-year-old bus driver to the hospital.
It appears that a speeding vehicle broadsided the bus. The bus hit some poles, and the bus driver was ejected from the vehicle. And my understanding is he's okay, but I don't know his exact condition. The vehicle that hit him, the person has been arrested, but he's also injured. He's at the hospital, but in custody, and there's been some evidence taken from that situation.
For hours Friday night, police blocked off the intersection. Tow trucks eventually taking the cars and bus away, while DTE crews worked on power lines knocked over from the accident. Now, we do know that bus driver is recovering at the hospital tonight. The driver, or the suspect that police are calling him, has non-life-threatening injuries. Now, he could possibly face fleeing and eluding charges. We are live on the Detroit East Side tonight. Larry Spruill, Local 4.
Okay, Larry, a judge lowers the bond for one of the men charged in the plot against Governor Whitmer. The judge lowered Pete Musico's bond from $10 million to $100,000. His lawyer argued the bond should be lowered because he pushed back against plans to storm the Capitol and harm public officials. Musico faces several charges, including threat of terrorism. He's expected to make bond and be released from jail. If he does, he'll have to wear a GPS tether.
Now to Decision 2020, another busy day on the campaign trail, and they all will be from here on in, 11 days from Election Day. President Trump spent the day campaigning in the key battleground state of Florida. Tonight, he hosted a rally in Pensacola. On the Democratic side, his opponent Joe Biden held his first post-debate event in Wilmington, Delaware, laying out his plan to try to end the coronavirus pandemic. Tomorrow, Biden will hold 2 campaign events in Pennsylvania, while President Trump has 4 rallies planned in 4 states: North Carolina, Ohio, Wisconsin, and New Hampshire. Here at home, Grammy Award-winning artist and Detroit native Lizzo provides some high-profile support for the Biden campaign. She met with Biden's supporters and urged everyone to get out and vote.
I mean, it's our civic duty, and we have seen this year how much our voice actually matters when we bring it together. I love the unity when we're talking about social injustice, and I love how we've come together on so many issues this year. Voting is by far the most important one, so we have to take our protests to the ballot box.
Both campaigns will be visiting Michigan in the coming days. Joe Biden's running mate, Senator Kamala Harris, will be making a stop here in Detroit. That will be Sunday, though we are still waiting on word on a location and a time for that visit. On the Republican side, President Trump will be back in Michigan. He'll be holding a rally Tuesday afternoon. That will be at Capitol Airport in Lansing.
Still ahead, the federal government writes a massive check to a whistleblower.
What the government is revealing about the record-breaking $114 million payment.
And scientists say they've discovered the first murder hornet's nest in the country, where it was found and what scientists are doing with the nest to protect other species.
But first, he's accused of being a killer and a cannibal. He faces a judge as officers reveal the moments they found a man's body hanging in his basement. That's next.